Welcome to FrameLoss Episode 4. I am B-Pants, and with me we have Kyle, 2 inches,
Hello.
and CJ.
What's up?
This week on FrameLoss we have new releases, we got some news, we've got a secret review,
Ooh.
and we've got our year-end wrap-up where we just discuss some things about the year and a little prediction for next year as well. So why don't we go ahead and go into what everybody's been playing. Kyle?
I've been playing a lot of DayZ since that just came out on Steam.
Yep.
Very, very excited for that game.
Yes, I've been playing it with you, and it is awesome. It's definitely an alpha, super alpha, but the framework to build an awesome game on top of that is there, which is cool.
Isn't it listed as a beta?
I think Steam just automatically kind of like lists it as like a
No,
beta.
on his site. Doesn't he call it a beta?
No, they've definitely
okay.
been calling this an alpha. They said the beta won't be for another year, at least. Like, it's going to be an alpha for at least a year.
Ugh. I'm not paying $30 for this shit.
I mean, I don't know if they're... Do you know if they're planning on increasing the price when it goes into beta?
I don't know.
Yeah,
that was the
heard
big
anything
question
about it.
everyone had, was that the price was going to go up, because he doesn't...
Some games do that.
Yeah,
so.
he doesn't want people buying this game
I would say,
right
Yeah.
I expect the price to go down.
No.
Everywhere on the Steam page and everything, it's like, don't buy this. Like,
Yeah.
really think about what you're about to do here, because
Yep.
this game is
I mean,
very early.
Yeah, it is very early. The functionality is definitely extremely limited if you compare it to the mod. There's a lot of things missing, like vehicles, storage,
Animals.
There's basically no hunting. There's kind of no end game. Like, we got all that gear yesterday, and then it's like, what do we do now?
Yeah,
like,
the
you just
tent
go in and
system
get
isn't
yourself
even
killed.
there.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't even
no
save
tents.
gear. Yeah, well,
No
before,
tents, dude.
before
Well,
you set up
you
a
can
base.
find a tent, but it doesn't do anything. Like, it's already set up. You
What
can't-
the fuck?
Yeah, I know. That just completely...
Why? I was going to buy the game, too, and now I'm not.
Yep.
There's a lot of new stuff in it that I really
Yeah.
like. The weapon modding is really
Yep.
nice.
Weapon mods are cool. Force feeding people disinfectant is hilarious.
Yep.
Handcuffing
people.
without a key.
Yep. Handcuffing and losing the key.
I think the game sounds great. I just really have trouble spending $30 on a
Yeah,
super
and that's,
buggy piece of software.
That's totally understandable.
And that's why they don't want your service.
Exactly. I totally understand it. I mean, I've been looking forward to it for a while, so it was a no-brainer for me.
Yep.
I completely understand what an alpha is, unlike what seems like half the gaming community is like, what the fuck? This game is not complete. It's like, no shit.
Yeah,
You
right.
got a game that wasn't complete. But the way I've been telling people is if it's something you want to buy when it comes out in full release, you can look at this kind of like a pre-order
Yeah.
with access to something to play in the meantime. I think that's the best way to kind of look at it. Like, it's not going to be complete. It's going to be super buggy, but it's something to play.
Yep.
If you were going to buy the full thing.
I think the biggest problem with like releases like this and stuff is the same thing that like SimCity has going on currently, where it's like you release, you're buggy and stuff.
Well,
Even if I understand the difference between releasing and releasing as an alpha, but it's still you're putting your game out there with bugs.
Yes, you're going to get negative publicity, mainly from people who don't understand what an alpha or a beta is.
Not even that, but it's just like in a year when the game is playable, there's going to be no community.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I definitely see your point of view. Because, what if everybody buys it now and then stops playing it because it's improving slowly, but it's not improving fast enough for them?
But you could say the same with the mod, because
Yeah,
the
you
mod
could.
came out over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
The mod was free though, wasn't it?
Well, you had to have the Arma 2.
People,
Right.
The only reason
People had
bought-
Arma 2 though.
Some people had Arma 2.
Also, Arma 2 was like $10 on sale.
Arma 2 went up to, I think, 500% increase in sales when the mod came out.
Yeah, when the mod was like...
it was a
really good
daily
publicity.
Steam top sale for a good solid 5 months in a row.
Yeah.
Just because of the mod. The game had, I'd say, mediocre success.
Yeah.
The mod is what people bought the game for.
But Arma 2 wasn't $30.
It was base. Like, if you didn't buy it when it was on sale.
Okay, yeah.
But it
was
went on sale
always
like
on
a
sale.
ton of times
yeah, exactly.
for $7, $8,
I think
$10.
I think when DayZ first came out, I bought Arma 2 and Arma 2 Combined Ops on Amazon. I think
we did the same
I think
thing.
It was $20.
I think it was 15.
Maybe it was 15.
I think it was
and that was
7.50.
50% off. So if you didn't get it on that sale, then you were paying
like $30.
like $30, $40.
15. If it was 15, I would go buy it right now.
Yeah.
It's $30 is just
and that's understandable because it's I think the $30 price is mainly like, okay, we're going to attract the people who played the mod, love the mod. Like, this is their
I think it's
game.
supposed to be a barrier of entry. Like, it's supposed to kind of make people, I don't know if I want to spend $30 on an alpha, which...
I don't even know if it's an alpha. I don't know if it's an alpha. I don't even know if it's that it's an alpha. Like that, I think $30 is just a little too much for a game that's so... Well, I was saying it to Kyle. It's like if someone started charging like $30 for like Gary's mod, where it's like it's not really a game. It's more of like a play area.
DayZ is a game.
Yeah.
There's no like missions or anything though. Like there's no.
You're right. It's an open world. It's a sandbox. Right.
That's what exactly. It's just like a play area where it's like that's kind of hard to say. Like,
well, some people really like that. Some people,
for this type of game specifically with DayZ, like I've said it before, like Rocket could have charged $100 for this mod, and just knowing the amount of time I'm going to put into it, that's worth it to me.
I wouldn't pay $100. Not for the alpha. And you know what? That's what like Prison Architect, when they came out with their, I think it was $30 when they released their alpha. They said we're releasing it at $30. The game's going to be cheaper when we actually release. We're charging $30 because we don't want a ton of people just buying it all willy nilly.
Yeah,
that's what I maybe kind of thought they were trying to do with DayZ. To kind of live.
It makes sense.
That's what I hope they do, because when it comes out or even moves to beta, if it drops in price, if it even goes down to $20, I'll buy it. Like,
I mean, I personally think they're actually going to go up in price.
Yeah,
I would see it going. I could see it either going 40 or even on release going to 60 as a full release price game.
Yeah. Yep. I know. I've been talking to Kyle about early releases and stuff, and we both agree that we don't really like the idea of early releases because it sort of encourages bad practice almost, where it's like
bad habits.
You release a game.
Yeah, we have a discussion point.
Oh, sweet.
For that. Yeah, so we won't go into that too much right now.
Yeah, I've also besides DayZ, I've also been playing a little bit of Forza 5.
Yeah, on your X-Bone.
Because I now am a proud owner of a X-Bone 1. Is it X-Bone 1? X-Bone?
No, it's just X-Bone, because 1 is part of Xbox.
I got an Xbox One
Xbox
yesterday.
wins. You heard it.
Xbox wins. I like the system. It has a barrier of entry to use all the functions on it.
Yeah.
If you click the store to immediately I wanted to download Killer Instinct because I'm a huge fighting game fan. So to go to the store, I click store, and it brings up Bing immediately. So it's like, okay, maybe I clicked the wrong thing. So I back out, I click store again. It brings up Bing. Then CJ comes in, and we're like, Xbox, store. And it brings up Bing. Then you see in the text right above the search field, it says, like, store powered by Bing. So if you click the store, like, you have to type into the, like, almost a browser, like, Killer Instinct, and then it brings you to that page in the store.
So is there like a browser? Like, is there like a page where you can go to like browse everything in the store?
There is. Oh, okay. If you don't click the store icon and you just scroll all the way to the right, there's a games, movies, music, and apps.
I'd have to see.
And then you can just click games, and it'll
really
only bring up games. But if you click the store thing, it brings up the like search field. Like you're gonna.
The store button is essentially like search the store.
It should be like labeled like store search or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was kind of irritating. But once I got like everything set up and I set all my like snaps, and I really like the system. Like it's really nice.
Yeah.
I have been playing Assassin's Creed 2, trying to go back and beat a bunch of the Assassin's Creed games that I hadn't beat.
I just recently did the same thing.
There you go.
It actually kind of sucked because
it does suck.
Well, I reinstalled Windows on my PC.
Yeah.
And I was like probably like 90% of the way through Assassin's Creed 2, and I forgot to back up my save.
Oh, that sucks.
So I just went onto YouTube and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna like watch the cutscenes basically.
Hey, don't tell Nintendo. I've also been playing Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons, which was an old Game Boy Color Legend of Zelda.
Yep.
It went with Oracle of Ages. I've been on a kind of mini Zelda kick between that, Link to the Past, A Link Between Worlds, and Wind Waker. Like, I'm kind of all...
Is it the Wind Waker remake you're playing?
Yeah. So
that's
I'm kind of just...
right?
Yeah. It's really awesome, too. I feel like I've maybe said stuff about it before, but I don't know, because I definitely ranted to Brandon and Kyle about it, but it's just like, it's so gorgeous, it's so pretty.
Nice.
The Wii U gamepad is like awesome for it. The fact that I can put something else on the TV and play on the gamepad, so like I don't have to hear it from my girlfriend. That's pretty sweet.
Yep.
But yeah, if I could recommend anything to anyone, it would be not to play 4 Zelda games at once, because it starts to get really confusing with what you're supposed to be doing in each.
The stories kind of merge into one.
It's the Zelda games are like super notorious for like, especially the Game Boy Zelda games, where it's like, we're not going to tell you anything.
Yep.
Like, it's all on you to figure it out. And then so if you kind of have like 3 or 4 of those going at once, you're like, wait, so which game did I have the jump thing in, and which game? So,
nice.
Those are awesome. I really want to beat one of these series, either Assassin's Creed or Zelda, and move on, because I also want to play Mass Effect.
Nice. Did you get that trilogy at this point? Yeah.
Awesome. I've had it for like, I want to say 2 months at this point. And I just want to...
My favorite games.
I love them. I played them on... I played all of them on the Xbox, but I don't really use my Xbox anymore.
Yeah.
And I never beat Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'll just get them all on the PS3, because I actually use that.
Yep. Nice. Awesome. Yeah, I've been playing the kind of same as Kyle. I've been playing a crap ton of...
You got an Xbox too?
No, I got an Xbox 2.
He's ahead of you, yeah!
So yeah, I've been playing a bunch of DayZ. I just got an i5 for my PC, so the first thing I did was reinstall Skyrim and literally find every high texture pack, high quality texture pack I could find, put in like 40 mods and booted it up and got a solid 60 frames per second. I was actually getting too many frames per second. I had to limit my frames because it was causing graphical issues, so I had to lock it at 60.
No frame loss at all? Or?
Yeah, no. So I did that, so I've been playing a bunch of Skyrim.
I'll have to send you, I forget the specific pack name I got, but it might even be the same one, but it's like a Skyrim expansion pack thing that, they added like a bunch of new things, quests and stuff, and they fixed up some of the storylines and bugs, like just weird things.
There's a lot of stuff like that. Actually,
was like I googled like best Skyrim mods and like did some research on it and everything, and it was like number 1 or 2 on like 10 lists.
Falscar or something like that, was it? Because that was like a fan made like expansion.
Oh no, the one that the guy hired for? No, it wasn't that. I've been waiting to get that. I am excited to play that though. But yeah, I guess so. Yeah. To backtrack, I've also been playing Skyrim, but not like I've played it twice in like 2 months. So
yeah, I've been putting a ton of time into it right now. All right, so let's move on. We got another releases of the week.
Yeah, woo! WEAK again. Releases of the week. We got 2 games this period. First up, Halo Spartan Assault on the Xbox Live Store for Xbox One. Halo Spartan Assault, it's a top-down shooter, kind of like Geometry Wars, twin-stick shooters, where one controls the guy, the other controls where you're shooting. It's only available on Windows 8 like devices and tablets and stuff in the Xbox. So if you have any of those, you want to check it out. It'll probably be fun if you're into like Twitch shooters and those kind of bullet hell games. Otherwise, maybe watch a video, see what you think.
I think it looks decent. Like, I'm probably going to get it just because...
I mean, you need something to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, is sharing a lot in common with the PS4. Is that it's really slim pickings.
Yeah. Forza, though. I'm super jealous you get to play Forza, which is not a release of the week.
No, it is not.
The other release is Zen Pinball 2. It's on the PlayStation Network for PS4. It did get delayed. It's coming out on the 24th. Both these games are coming out 12/24, right before Christmas. So Zen Pinball 2 is definitely, if you like pinball games, you will love Zen Pinball. I can't say enough nice things about how many tables they have, how many different like properties. There's like Star Wars properties, Marvel properties. I think there's like a Street Fighter table.
Yep. There's tons of tables.
Yeah, it's an insane amount of tables.
It's a free-to-play game. You can download the base game.
Zen Pinball is free, and then like the tables cost money.
3 or 4 tables.
There's 4 tables.
Yeah, with the free one, and then you buy more tables as you get. So that's really cool. That's a nice business model.
And I really like pinball. Obviously, there's nothing quite like pinball like in an arcade with the actual pinball machine, so maybe they should release like a pinball controller.
Do you guys remember Virtual? It was called Virtual Pinball.
Yeah.
It was like a pinball machine.
I think I vaguely.
It sounds like kind of familiar.
The table, like the screen was
digital.
Yeah. And it would switch out different tables.
This sounds kind of familiar.
And it bombed super hard.
that means it's probably cheap on eBay though, right?
Maybe.
Or it's super expensive because it's
damn it. But yeah, I like Zen Pinball a lot, especially I think the tables are like $2 a pop or something, so check that out if you're a pinball fan. Otherwise...
Yeah. I'm fairly certain it's there's some tables on PlayStation Plus right now, so if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you can download those tables like on PS3 or from your PC. You can go in and add them to your cart, and it is cross-play, so those tables will then be available on PS4.
PS Vita also.
Yep, PS Vita. Yep.
I feel like there's always stuff on PlayStation Plus for Zen Pinball too.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, they have so much content.
Yeah, it's a really good game that gets a ton of support. But
yep.
All right, so moving on, we got some news of the week, I believe, Kyle.
We do have some news of the week,
which I labeled Kyle as talking about news of the week, but then the first thing I labeled myself as. So that kind of doesn't make any sense. But anyways, news of the week. Steam sale is up. Steam holiday sale.
Finally, about time.
That happened real quick.
Yeah, well, they had the
autumn happened, and then like a week after. It was like, oh, well, now it's
the autumn sale was like half a sale.
I mean, if they weren't even badges. Sale, like, every 4 weeks, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I can do that all they want. Just gonna get more money from me. So anything good so far you guys bought? Did you guys buy anything?
I just bought Deponia.
Nice.
It was on sale for $2, right before we went on the air.
That's a great deal for that game.
Yeah, it's like 90% off or something. I saw it. I was like, yeah, instant. I've had my eye on that game for a little while. I really like point and click. I was thinking about buying A Wolf Among Us, which I really like Fables, which is the IP it's based on, and I really like Telltale point and clicks.
Yeah, Telltale's
it's probably, I think the sale might even be over now already. I might have
like
half an hour.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it'll go on into the
yesterday's.
Yeah.
So I don't feel too pressured. I think it'll be back up at the end of the sale anyway. They usually do that.
Yeah.
But that's definitely a game that I recommend everyone check out if you're into point and clicks.
Yeah, the only reason I'm not buying it right now is because I know once they have all 5 episodes released,
yeah,
it'll go on sale again for even more off. And I don't I don't want to buy 1 episode and then be like, oh man, I really want to play the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, totally.
I guess the cool thing about it too is it's sort of I'm trying to think of how to explain it. The story changes depending on how you deal with things, but there's no There's no wrong choices in the game.
So kind of like The Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
The story kind of changes.
I think it's even more so because it's the character you play as is the Big Bad Wolf from Fable, or Three Little Pigs and all that stuff, and he switches between this human form where he can go out in public and stuff, and the Big Bad Wolf form. So it's kind of like werewolfy.
Yeah.
And so it depends on how you deal with the people you're talking to and investigating. You can either talk to them and try to get information, or you can be the Big Bad Wolf and scare the shit out of them and
that's pretty cool.
Smash around and stuff. So there's right ways and wrong ways to turn and when to turn.
Yeah.
It's a really cool system. I'm excited to try it. I just have to get around to buying it.
Kyle,
I've bought, I think, 3 little tiny $1.24 games.
Yeah.
That I can't even remember any of the names of them. I have a problem with if it's under $2 on Steam.
It's just buy it.
Just gonna buy it.
Did you buy Legend of Dungeon? That's the current.
I did not buy Legend of Dungeon.
It's $1.25.
Didn't you get a gift for someone? Also?
I did buy a friend Dive Kick because that's the greatest fighting game ever made, and everyone should play it.
Nice.
So if it comes back up as a community pick, or if it's at the end where they do the top games of the sale, everyone should buy Dive Kick.
Yep.
I played it on Kyle's PS account, and it's got to be the silliest game I've ever played. I don't like fighters. I don't hate them, but they're not
it's a 2-button fighter. Right?
Exactly. It's hard to lose.
Yeah. Well, it's a 1-hit kill, so.
Yeah, but you get 5 lives.
Okay.
Per round.
Yeah.
So it's a silly game. It's for $2. It's definitely worth it.
Nice.
There are a bunch of games I have a list that I've made
that you want to buy?
Of games that I'm going to buy on January 2nd.
If they don't, that's another thing is that don't buy any game unless it's a daily deal or in one of the flash sales.
If it's not on the front page, don't buy it.
Until the end of the sale, until January 2nd. Because if it does go on...
Does that seem long? I feel like this sale is
2 weeks. I think that's the normal,
holiday they're for a holiday.
It just feels so long. Every day I'm going to be checking this now.
I think it's awesome. It's 2 whole pay periods for me. So
yeah, it is pretty sweet. I've actually bought quite a bit so far. I bought Risk of Rain, which is it's a side scroller roguelike, but it's like a shooter. You can do those guns, and it's cool because the level starts out and you're automatically on easy, And the more time you spend in the level, the difficulty bar goes up and up, so it goes from easy to medium to hard. Cool. So like it's kind of like a risk type reward. Do you stay there and continue leveling up and getting more items to get more powerful to fight the boss and risk having the level get way more harder, or do you try to complete it as fast as you can so you can get through on easy?
Machinarium just won the vote to be up on sale next. That game's pretty sweet
nothing
too,
I have voted for so far.
Risk of Rain I voted for, and that won, so I picked that up.
It's
got 2-player co-op too, which is pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
So
I just vote for whatever's going to have the best discount.
I think a lot of
people most of the games I'm not going to buy, so I just vote for like. I'm like, well, someone might want this game that's going to be 90% off, so I'll do them a favor. Yeah. Plus trading cards.
I also picked up Far Cry 3, Final Fantasy 7, and Legend of Dungeon, because Legend of Dungeon was like $1.24. So
I really want to get Far Cry 3. Yeah. I've already beat it, but the story, I love that game.
Yeah.
I just fell completely into that story.
I didn't beat it, so I will admit I was a bad kid, and I pirated it when it first came out. But I just bought it legitimately, so I will actually play it.
Yeah, you made up for it.
Yep.
I got it for free with when I built my computer last year.
See, I was supposed to get it for free, and they never sent it to me.
Oh, well, then you kind of deserve to pirate it.
Whatever. I bought it because I definitely had a lot of fun when I was playing, and I definitely want to finish it because it was really good.
It's a cool game. There's a ton of stuff to do, which on one hand I love, and on the other hand I hate because I have so many games.
What do I do?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, man, do I really want to spend 60 hours beating this game? And it's like, yes, I do. And
then Sleeping Dogs is on sale right now. I can't decide if I want to buy it or not.
I think Sleeping Dogs is worth.
It's like $7.99 for the game and all DLC.
That's worth it.
That's worth it. All of it. I bought it the day it came out. I beat it the night I bought it. Like I didn't stop playing until I finished. The story is so good in that game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll definitely have you played the True Crime? Any of the True Crime series?
I mean, I did like a tiny bit when I was younger. Like I rented them from like Blockbuster or something like that, and drove around and was like, I'm a cop in a car. And, I was like, this is cool, but I didn't really.
It's like Kung Fu GTA.
Yeah.
Really good. It kind of reminds me of did you guys ever play John Woo's Stranglehold?
Yep.
It kind of reminds me of that game in a good way.
With less
jumping, gunfighting, slow-mo stuff, but that's good.
Less gung fu.
Yeah. Brendan, you should check out that game.
Yeah, I'm probably
Stranglehold. No,
Stranglehold. Stranglehold.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It was one of the.
Wasn't that the one on PS3?
It came out
Blu-ray movie.
It came out super early on PS3.
Yeah,
I don't think it came with the movie.
I think it came with Stranglehold. Are you thinking of Top Gun?
No, definitely not thinking of Top Gun.
I don't think
one of them came with a Blu-ray movie, like one early Kung Fu.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Stranglehold.
Maybe
it was Stranglehold. I could have sworn it was.
I know it was very early in the PS3.
Which the movie was whatever, but the game was a lot of fun.
Okay, that's cool. So next bit of news.
So there's a law firm investigating EA, specifically with regards to Battlefield 4. The law firm Holzer and Fistel are investigating them based on fraud around investor fraud. Basically, the quality of Battlefield 4 has been terrible, awful. The game shouldn't have been released. I think pretty much everyone agrees with that at this point. Every platform has issues with it. Most of them are pretty severe, causing it to crash. So they're investigating, saying that investors weren't given the correct information / weren't given what they were promised.
Yep. There's actually also another investigation. I think it's by the same people.
It's escalated.
They
found
insider trading where people were selling off their stocks. Before the game came out.
Yep, it's 4.5 million, something like that.
Yeah, it's 5 people sold 1.6 million shares for about $4.5 million.
Roughly that.
I don't remember the specific names, but I did see the chart.
Pretty crazy.
Yep, it's one of those things where on one hand it could just be the way stocks work for companies and stuff is there are certain time frames in which you are allowed to sell your stock and stuff. So it could just be poor timing. But it could also be but it could also be. Yeah. And that's why they do these investigations and stuff, is to look into it. Yeah. Just because that happened doesn't mean they necessarily were doing insider trading and investor fraud, but I think it definitely deserves to be looked at given how, just completely unfinished the game was.
I really do hope that EA...
Those are different lawsuits, too.
Yeah, those are different lawsuits, I just really hope that EA takes this to heart, because I really like the Battlefield series, And I picked up Battlefield 3 when it came out, and there were some issues with it, but they were addressed pretty quickly. Battlefield 4 I haven't bothered to pick up yet, because just of how much issues I've heard about it.
Yeah.
So I really hope that... I mean, I doubt anything is going to change, but I really hope they give DICE... Because DICE is a good development studio.
Yeah.
DICE is pretty well known for being on top of their game.
I would say DICE... as much as I don't like the direction they took Battlefield, that aside... I think DICE has the best sound team in the business.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Like, I don't think anyone touches them as far as sound.
And I mean, they do make quality games, whether you like the gameplay or
right.
not.
No, I'm not saying...
Mirror's Edge was, just like a great,
Man, yeah, I forgot about Mirror's Edge.
game.
Yeah.
The Battlefield series has always been known for good quality and fun gameplay.
Yeah. I wasn't knocking the quality. I don't like the direction they took Battlefield.
It's upsetting that you think about this and you're like, man, I wonder if this is because of like this, because EA was like, here's your release date, make it or don't, or make it or you're
we're releasing on this date. End of discussion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'd say the closest I've come to Battlefield 4 is I bought a Battlefield 4 controller for the PS3 because I needed a new one, and it was $16.
There you go.
And it's actually it's a pretty good controller. There aren't any bugs or anything, so I can give the controller a 10 out of 10. The stock for EA dropped pretty heavily because of all this also. That's a pretty good sign in terms of more grown-up stuff. If you're looking at like buying EA stock or whatever, now's the time to do it since it dropped. Because it will go back up. EA is a legitimate company, and bad things happen, good things happen. And I like, speaking of DICE being a good developer, I like the fact that they have that tracker page for all the bugs and everything. If you guys don't know about it, there's a tracker page on the Battlelog forums showing like all the top problems and how close they are to fixing them, when they'll be coming out. I think that EA and DICE together probably learned a lesson from the SimCity.
I really hope they... Well, I hope they... I mean, clearly they did.
This is way worse.
Well, no, in terms of, okay, we know there are bugs. Here are the bugs we're fixing. This is when they're going to... As opposed to SimCity, where they were just like, yeah, there's problems, like, we'll fix them eventually. And now... I mean, SimCity's a ghost town. Yeah. I have it. I logged on the other day, and it was like...
Just abandoned cities everywhere.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Just to be devil's advocate, I do like the tracker page.
Yeah.
But when they have issues like PS4, bug, this bug breaks PS4.
Yeah.
And it's like, fix, incoming. It's like, they don't really tell you what the bug is, what it's doing. They're just like, this is the cause of all the issues on the PS4.
Right.
That's the bug.
We work in software development, so I'm somebody who deals with incoming patches for a product, and I know how it's not easy to predict a patch, because you can get your patch and then your patch breaks more, and you're like, well, shit. Now we need another patch to fix this patch. So
and there's also definitely been times where something breaks, and it's like, what is causing this? So we're like, we don't know. We have no idea why. Just roll it back.
Days to figure it out and research it. I think a lot of people, they look at the bug and they're like, it's crashing, just fix it. And it's way harder to figure out than it's crashing.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fix it. There can be just thousands of things, especially in a video game. I couldn't even imagine QA on a game like Battlefield.
I would literally never work in video game QA.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
It's a soul-killing job. It ruins playing video games, and it's probably impossible to be consistently good at it.
Yeah.
Given, it's hard to reproduce things in our stuff, which is not complicated software, let alone a game where you could do literally anything.
Yeah, thousands of things going on.
It's like, oh yeah, if you jump, switch out your weapon, and throw a grenade at the same time, sometimes your character...
Well, somebody on your friends list is looking at you, and somebody else is sending you a message.
Yeah, it's like, cool, solid reproduction on this.
Got a solid repro.
Yeah, there it is.
Well, with the EA... news and Battlefield, just being broke on all fronts, I thought it would be a good topic to just bring up, when is enough of games coming out, because it's been a huge trend this year, I feel, that games are either coming out unfinished,
with,
buggy,
early access,
or the new trend, which is the Steam early access. I really blame Steam for this trend, because they're allowing it to go on.
Well, they pretty much pioneered it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because right now, 5 of the 10 top-selling games on Steam
are
all early access. They're not out. They're just
It's Wasteland 2, Rust, 7 Days to Die, DayZ, and Starbound are all in the top 10 selling games.
Yeah.
And that's with the Steam sale going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty surprising.
And that's, I mean, Starbound, they wipe your stuff. Like, it's,
I mean, so this is tough. A game like Battlefield 4, that was given a release date. A release date for a finished product.
Yeah.
The game should be working and playable. A game like Starbound, where they say, hey, this is early access, this game isn't finished yet, I kind of think those are two different things, and I'm personally okay. I really like early access.
I like early... Okay, it's like a double-edged sword. I really like early access for, like, games that, like, I'm in... Like, DayZ, it was obviously, like, a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But that's because I played DayZ for, like, probably a solid year. Like, hard. I've listened to every... Like, I follow Rocket. I listen to, like, everything that I can find on him talking about the game. I went to PAX last year specifically to go to the DayZ panel to hear him talk about the game.
Yeah, we went to that together. Yep.
It sounds weird, but I have this, like, I'd say, emotional connection. Like, I feel like Rocket is trying to make DayZ a good game.
Rocket understands, Kyle.
Yeah. He does.
I feel like, well, no, like, okay, a lot of people bought Towns, and that was an early access game.
I was pissed about
And
Towns.
that game was an abomination of bugs and awfulness that they weren't fixing.
Yeah, and that's a problem too. Like, this is almost kind of like a Kickstarter issue too. Like, what happens when you pay for a game, the game comes out into early access, and then the developer doesn't deliver on what they're... Doesn't deliver on what they promised. That's an issue.
Yeah. That's why
there should be some way to deal with that, but I don't think there is.
That's why I felt safe doing it for a game like DayZ, where it's like, okay, I'm paying $30, this game is buggy as hell. But I feel like Rocket's not going to be like, oh, well, it didn't sell as well I wanted, and just abandon it.
Yeah, they have a big developer behind them, too. It's not just an indie developer developing DayZ, it's Bohemia.
Right.
You know, they're still part of that company, so there's kind of got that little bit of a... You know, I don't think that gives it much merit in that sense, but that's kind of a little bit of a safety.
But games like Towns, Starforge, there's a War Z, Infestation, Zombie, like those games, I feel like they come out in early alpha, their sales don't meet what they wanted to, so they're like, we really have no incentive to continue with this product.
Yeah, it's a huge problem if if your only source of income is early access, you're probably screwed.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge issue. Games like Starbound, which it wasn't just early access, the game was going to be finished no matter what. They had already done a Kickstarter, completely funded. You know, to me, that's okay. They've already got the funding. They already know it's going to be released. Yep. This is almost like hey, everybody who backed us, everybody who wants to get in, it's kind of like what I think of before. It's a pre-order and you get access to a game.
Right. Yeah. I think that there are more negatives than positives. Like, I think that if you're really excited about a game and you pre-order it and you get it early, like, that's cool. But at the same time, I think there are so many people who take advantage of it in the wrong ways, such as the DayZ guys who, like, just... I mean, not DayZ. DayZ's amazing, yeah. Or Z/Infestation, where it's just a nightmare of a game.
Where they had to change their name because of so much bad press.
Yeah. There are a lot of early access games that come out and are terrible and are still terrible and have been out for a while. And it's like, how long are you going to be in beta? How long are you going to be doing this?
Orion Dino.
Orion Dino.
There you go, yeah.
That's another one.
And as far as early access goes, just in general, I also don't like when developers... I don't like charging more for a game because you only want dedicated people to play it. Just because that's... I just don't like the idea of it. Yeah. I understand being like, well, we're putting it out there into early access, and this way we can beta test. I don't like the idea of paying to test someone's stuff. That kind of bothers me.
Yeah. I definitely think it's not for everybody. Like, you don't like that. Like, that's fine. Just don't buy it. And then, when the game actually is fully released, if you're interested, pick it up then. What pisses me off is the people that buy it in early access, and then they're like, what the fuck, this game is super buggy, and all this shit, and it's like,
it does kind of, it does kind of give the people who buy it early an advantage, though. They're already way ahead of everyone else who's playing currently. Like, what's that game with the ships? I can't remember the name.
The ships.
Yeah.
Star Citizen?
Yeah, Star Citizen. People are going to be getting that game early, and they're going to have a leg up on...
I don't know if there's going to be a wipe for that game. Most games, I would say, with early access have a wipe.
Most games give a wipe, and I don't know if... I mean, I'm pretty sure they mentioned it somewhere, but I don't know if they've mentioned that they have the persistent universe, which is like the last thing they released. If they don't wipe before that and give everybody a clean start, that's kind of shitty.
Even if they do wipe, though... People who've been playing already know what to do, where to go, how to get the best stuff, whereas people who are getting in are like, oh, I'm going to explore my ship a little bit. It's just, it gives an advantage, which I understand, like, they're paying for to be an early nerd, but still an advantage to players, and that's a killer in an online community.
I definitely don't like the fact that they are charging real money for like new and better, more powerful ships.
Yeah.
I understand that like that's what's keeping the game alive. If they weren't doing that, the game wouldn't have made nearly as much as it had, and they wouldn't be able to stay completely crowdfunded if they weren't doing it.
Man, I just don't understand how much money you need to make a game, I guess, because they have made a shit ton of money.
But they're also making super ambitious titles.
Grand Theft Auto 5 took, like, what was it, $250 million or more?
GTA 5 was $250 million.
And this game, I think, is going to be, as far as, like, scope and things you can do, bigger than GTA 5.
Yeah.
Maybe not, like, graphically bigger, because, I mean, how graphically intense is space? You know,
there's
some stars in the background and maybe a planet.
I think the particles is really what's going to push that game.
They just had a video release like 2 or 3 days ago that they delayed the dogfighting module that was supposed to be out in December because they wanted to make their own netcode instead of using CryEngine's netcode as kind of like...
It's a good choice.
Yeah, to kind of, instead of like wasting work basically. But they showed like a video of like the particle effects of like when you... The explosion is actually, it's a 3-dimensional explosion when you blow up a ship, and like when you shoot a wing of a ship, like panels on the wing start coming off, and then you can actually like, knock off their gun or completely like rip the wing off.
So. It definitely, the stuff I've seen looks amazing. Yeah. I'm not saying that Starbound, or not Star Citizen is, there's too many Star games right now. Star Citizen is not going to be a good game. It's not ambitious, because it definitely is all those things. I just don't get how much money it takes to make video games. Is what it is. I mean, like that's what it comes down to.
Like I'm surprised that what they promised they're going to make is they're going to be able to make with the $30 million they've got.
Like $30 million that's a lot of money.
But they're running a company paying payroll.
See, I think
that's expensive software.
This type of stuff is like exactly what content updates are for, though. If you have $30 million for this game, make a $30 million game, release it, sell the completed stuff you have in a positive sense, not in the early access sense where it's like you're releasing a beta that's still buggy. Yeah. Concentrate on like the small area, do that, and then it's like, oh, we made $30 million from the sales. Now we can do a content update of like a whole nother galaxy.
Yeah,
like it just screams that I can't imagine releasing a game of Star Citizen's ambition all at once. That seems almost too much.
Well, I mean, they are releasing it in waves.
They are.
Like the dogfight is going to be first.
Module,
and that's going to be really limited. That's going to be just like
it's you PvP. Just pick a ship and you go PvP. It's not even limited to like what ship you own. Like you can fly any ship if you want.
Well, I mean, in terms of they said like every star in the game you're going to be able to go to was one of the things they said. Which I don't know if I don't know if I buy into that, but
that's true. But I mean, I don't know.
The idea of booting up this game day one and being able to be like, there, and go there. And I go there. It's like, do I really need to be able to do that out of the box? Or, like, could we maybe wait to add the stuff that's like 7 AUs away?
It's super ambitious, and that was one of the reasons I funded it. I think it was more like, I looked at it, saw what they were promising, and was just like, let's see where this train takes us. Like, I want to can you pull it off?
This looks like this is my ideal game. Like, so I backed it while it was still on Kickstarter because I was like, this I want this game.
Right.
If they can pull this off, I'm never leaving this room ever again. I'm gonna be sitting in this chair with joysticks and fucking Oculus Rift just flying in. You guys are gonna come over and be like, okay, I'm in the middle of a dogfight.
Oh, I saw Oculus Rift. Not to get too off topic, but I saw Oculus Rift footage of someone using it in a gladiator arena.
Oh,
and,
I saw that.
Yeah, I was gonna say people at home can't really see this, so I'm gonna try and explain it. But he had like 2 weapons in both his hands. He crossed them in front of this guy, and then like scissored, so cut off the guy's head. And he was like posing in the gladiator after.
He had like motion controls in his hand or something.
It looked really cool. It got me really excited for the Oculus Rift.
Actually, kind of another like totally off-topic thing too. Oculus Rift just secured $75 million in funding. And they have, like, I guess, a bunch of, like, big industry people have been tweeting, like, just saw, like, the next version of the Oculus Rift, and, like, they're just saying how completely blown away they are. Now, so I think they're closer to the release model, which is, A, supposed to have a high-definition screen, and B, supposed to have really low latency.
Now, are we going to get early access to Oculus Rift?
Yeah, they already do. You can buy a development kit of Oculus Rift right now for $300. It's only 720p, which they want to go up to 1080.
I should have got that instead of the Xbox.
Yeah.
No, I'm waiting for the 1080 version. They, I guess.
Well, I mean, at that close, you can't tell.
No. Apparently, it's very pixelated right now. Like as you're playing, you're kind of like, you kind of forget that it's pixelated.
Yeah.
But
Well, Kyle showed me a chart.
What?
That chart.
Yeah.
Of 10, like how far you have to be from a screen, and the size to get the full effect of it.
For it to matter, the size of your screen and all that.
But apparently, like that $75 million. I'm really hoping for Oculus Rift release in 2014. The consumer model with the high definition.
I just can't wait to
proper 3D head tracking.
I can't wait to put it on and have it smush my glasses and be super uncomfortable.
I have contacts. I'm good.
Yeah, you're all set.
Every time I have to play my Oculus Rift, put in contacts.
Now that I think about it, at that distance, I might not even need glasses. Like, I might be able to just put it on.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't even think of that because I can see to like right here. Clearly,
oh man, you got about a foot and a half on me.
Right here. Like this is where I can see. Our viewers can't even see.
I know.
What are we doing?
I'm a solid I think about 6 inches.
Yeah,
where my face is where. So.
Maybe. Okay. Anyways, let's stop getting off track.
Yeah.
Any more to say about early access games?
I think it creates bad habits, and I think they found a way. I can't knock them for it because they found a way to monetize betas.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I guess I kind of agree with that.
And in some sense, it's a really good thing because
it helps small developers get the money they need to finish games.
Not even get the money to finish games, but get the QA to finish games.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's ethically wrong. I understand the business side of it. Believe me, out of everyone, I understand the business side of it. I'm the one that defends Nintendo, so I get being a bad business is profitable. But ethically, I think it's wrong. I think it's leading us down this path to end up with things like Battlefield 4, where it's just you release a game because you know you can patch it.
Yeah.
Like it.
Well, that was the other thing too. Would you consider Battlefield 4
no.
Superman 64?
No.
Well, okay,
not at all.
Think of it this way: if Superman 64 could get patches, like if the N64 supported,
I think
patches,
it was just a terrible game in the first place. Though, like Battlefield's base game is good.
Everything about Superman 64 was bad.
Okay. So SteamOS and Steambox.
Yeah.
In people's hands.
People are currently installing Windows on it as we speak.
Yep. I mean, they said it's a PC.
Yep.
That's based, so,
do whatever you want with it.
You can actually download the SteamOS onto your PC.
Yep.
Like you can.
I haven't done it yet, but I've been thinking when I upgrade, I'm going to have a dual boot with the Steambox on it.
I have VMware, so I might just set up a box with Steambox. I'll
Yeah.
call it the Steambox. It'll be perfect.
I don't know how I feel about Steambox. One of the boxes they were showing had a total of $1,300 worth of hardware bought as if you were to buy it separately in it.
Yeah.
I don't know how consumer friendly that's going to be.
How much is it going to be as a... Like, how much is the box going to cost?
They don't know. There's so many different models of it. Because people can make their own.
I'm okay with that then. If one of them had $1,300 worth of stuff, that doesn't mean all of them are going to have that, so I'm kind of okay with that.
To me, the point of the Steambox was to get people not used to PC gaming into PC gaming.
Right. I mean, but
if the price isn't right, is that going to work?
I mean,
if you're someone who's not into PC gaming and you're a console gamer, and you're at the store and you're looking at Steambox 1300, Xbox One, PS4. You're gonna be like,
that was just one Steambox model, though.
Right.
There are definitely going to be Steambox models that are price competitive with.
But if they want competitive specs.
Yeah. If you buy a $500 Steam machine, you're maybe getting an i3. Will they even have a dedicated video card at that point?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
They have to take a massive hit.
Yeah. It's weird.
I think that enough people are going to be buying the Excuse me. I think enough people are going to be buying the expensive Steam boxes to help subsidize the cost of the money they
I'm not questioning this will sell, because people are blind, and anything Steam does is like, all praise Steam. Like, they can do no wrong.
Alright, here goes Kyle on his anti-Gabe Newell rant.
I hate Gabe Newell. That said, this will sell because it has Valve's name on it.
This, to
regardless.
me, is just another Alienware. Like, it's just another super expensive, high-end PC that I just... Maybe they'll be able to pull it off. I don't know. I'm super skeptical.
It's definitely not for me. Like, this is something I won't buy because I have a Steam box.
And I build my own PCs.
So. I would say I built a PC last year for gaming, specifically, and it cost about $1,500 roughly, like, after all was said and done. I would have preferred to get a Steam box for, like, $1,000, $1,100, than, like, a gaming PC.
Well, then also the other problem you have, too, is it runs Steam OS. You can put Windows on it if you want, but the Steam OS is Linux.
Yeah.
Not all Steam games support Linux.
Right.
So you're kind of limited in what you can buy there, too. If you're just sticking with
what it is, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a really interesting talk about the the whole Steam OS, Steam box thing. Gabe's been pushing the Steam OS, like, that's his baby, like, that's what he wants to support.
Yeah.
I think the Steam box is to fund for, like, because he can't sell Steam OS as, like, to investors being like, okay, well, we have this physical item or, like, an OS that's Linux-based. Like, I think the money for Steam OS is solely to fund, or Steam box is solely to fund more development into the Steam OS to make that better.
Yeah, if you tell investors, like, oh yeah, we are going to start selling this Linux OS, it's like, no, but like really though, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
selling
so
the Linux OS.
In order to sell me on the Steam OS, they're going to have to do something.
It has to be super price competitive.
Well, no, it's going to have to play all my games. Like, and how are you going to play my Windows games? I don't know if they can figure that out.
But it's definitely got to be price competitive, because I'll just buy a computer.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about just the OS. Like, if I were to put the Steam OS on my PC.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that there are...
Is there a price for the OS yet? Because right now, isn't it just free?
It's
free.
It has to stay free, right?
Yeah.
So
then you definitely can't sell an investor on a free
That's
OS.
what I'm saying. Like, it's like... I think that, I mean, I know for Macs, like, there are Windows emulation platforms like Parallels and stuff, so I can only assume, in this age of dual booting, I haven't looked into it. I have Ubuntu on my PC that I dual boot with, so anytime I need to do Linux stuff, I just go into that. But I could pretty much guarantee that there is some way to emulate some like Windows box type thing on.
And if they built that into Steam OS and made it so that my, Windows game could be played from within Steam OS and work without a massive performance hit or some issues, I'd consider checking it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other minor thing about the Steam box is, even though I haven't held it, I think that controller...
That controller looks dope, I agree, Kyle.
It looks terrible. I mean, you can plug a mouse and keyboard in, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think the controller is...
I don't know about that either. The controller, I'm on the...
I think it's super ambitious, the way that they're saying, like, the controls on it will be modified based on the game you're playing. Mm-hmm. I think that's really cool. Hopefully...
It's basically like two trackpads.
Yeah.
Right, but it's like,
liked trackpads.
I feel like
it's got the haptic feedback on it.
It looks like something I would buy for, like, my phone if I wanted to put a controller on my phone. Yeah. It just looks cheap and... It looks...
Well, I mean, remember, this is also the beta model, too.
That's true.
I don't think they've shown us, like, the actual, like, this is what it's going to look like when it's released. Because a lot of people have said that it feels cheap.
I feel like the one that we saw with the, like... It was two circles, and then it was, like, concentric circles. So there was, like, a middle one, and, like, a center one, a middle one, and an outside one. Yeah. So I think that it's less trackpad-y and more, like, those are all individual buttons. In the sense that, like... Because you have to be able to click them.
Well, they are clickable, but I think it's like a touchscreen. So if you like slide across it, it's gonna. So I don't know. I haven't held one. So
exactly.
It's weird. And I also heard all the Steam boxes people are getting, like they all have like different, like they're not all the same Steam box.
No, yeah, they have
I've seen tons that have like different parts in them.
Pretty disappointed I didn't get one. Not gonna lie. I did qualify. Yeah, I did qualify for it, but I didn't get one sadly. So
you had to have over 300 games on Steam to get it. I'm just making that up. I don't.
Yeah, I don't remember that part.
I think an hour after they made the announcement, there were like
1,200 or something like that, right?
No, it was way more than that. It was like 25,000 people were already qualified for 300 of the Steambox.
Jesus, yeah. I'm not surprised.
Do you think they have GPS in them? Like, because what if because you have to send them back. What happens when you're like?
I think if
I can't find it.
I think if you don't send it back, they charge you for it.
Probably.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to just lose a beta thing and have to be
in the sign,
cool, whatever.
Contract or something.
Yeah, exactly.
If you lose this, you pay for it. If you break it, you pay for it.
Yeah, moving on though, enough Steam talk. Nintendo Direct. Let's get to the good news. They had another Nintendo Direct session this week with some pretty exciting announcements, including one of what has to be my personal top announcement for this thing, Hyrule Warriors. It's a Tecmo Koei Dynasty Warriors game set in the Nintendo universe. So you get to run around hacking and slashing Goombas with Link, which I couldn't be more behind. I couldn't support this idea any harder. This is the kind of stuff that Nintendo, since they're so against making new IPs and stuff, need to be doing more of, where they're going to at least innovate the IPs they have in ways that people haven't even really thought about. It's not going to be just like Hyrule stuff. It's not just going to be Link. Mega Man is going to be in the game from what we've seen. I wouldn't be surprised to see like people like Marth from can't even remember the name of the game, from Super Smash Brothers. That's where I'm going to say he's from. In the game, basically probably any adult style like warrior character you could think of will probably be in the game. Don't expect to see Mario jumping around fireballing people, but then again it is Nintendo, so who knows. But that
Toad with a battle axe just hacking.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, Princess Peach umbrellaing people to death, just putting it in their mouth and opening it. Yeah, right.
Hyrule Warriors isn't the final name.
Yeah.
It's just like
that's just what they're calling it while they think of something. That'll be out on the Wii U 2014, so at most it'll be a year away, which isn't even that long.
I don't know. From the one trailer they shown, it looked like super beta mode to me. Like it was.
Yeah, it looked kind of early.
Yeah. I don't know how much polish they're gonna put in.
They have a whole year.
Yeah.
You release that on the Nintendo eShop for like $30, and it's gonna sell.
I don't know. We'll have to see, I guess.
Yep. So next they showed Kirby Triple Deluxe. It's a side-scrolling action game that not only goes left to right, but back and front. Brand new innovations from the Nintendo.
Now is Triple Deluxe? Is that their way of saying 3D?
Maybe.
I
D
really hate
that.
Oh, nice.
And that's why they go back and forth.
I now hate this game more than I did. They made 4 new abilities for the game, and there's also new modes, and one of those includes a little rhythm game.
Awesome.
So instantly purchased because it's got a rhythm game in it. I
know for a fact that as I was saying that in Washington, Reggie was like, "Someone got it!"
They finally get me!
Shigeru Miyamoto was like, "Yes!"
And that's slated for 2014. No, time frame.
Man, I hope these games all come out on the same day.
I hope so, too. So this one,
This is the best name ever!
Dude, I'm super pumped for this game. I love Yoshi's Island. They showed just a quick teaser trailer for Yoshi's New Island. It's a sequel to Yoshi's Island. Spring 2014, no exact date. I'm stoked. I love Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi's Island was awesome. Yeah.
Dude, love it.
Okay,
this is like the one Nintendo game that's always like, yes, I'm going to purchase
So this announcement was the best because I was in chat complaining to CJ about how the Nintendo Direct was awful and how all they do is take old franchises and just add new to them. And as I said that, they were Yoshi's New Island. And I was like...
Yep, that's their business model. Their next systems are going to be new. So you have new Super Mario Brothers. Yoshi's new Island.
Well, their next system is going to be old Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
So this is for the handheld. You're forgetting Yoshi's New U Island.
Wait, for the Wii U. They're actually coming out with that?
No.
No, it's not.
I would have bought a Wii U for
It's not announced.
Yeah, it's not announced yet. Next Nintendo Direct.
Yeah. Yoshi's Island. Super stoked for.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Online.
Yoshi's Island games are always fun. Chibi Robo Photo Finder. I loved Chibi Robo on the GameCube. You nailed it. Chibi Robo was one of those. It's another one of those Nintendo IPs that I was like, they make new IPs and people are just like, I'm not playing that that shit. Like, where's Mario?
Did Nintendo make this, though?
I think so. I'm pretty sure this was a Nintendo game.
Published by Nintendo?
I think...
This might be actually a legit Nintendo.
But, so how this one worked... How the one on the GameCube worked, for people who hadn't played it, was you were this robot in a house, and you, like... Your job was... You were, like, a little tiny robot, first of all. Not like the droid from Jetsons or anything, Rosie. You're a little teeny-weeny. And you have to, like, walk around cleaning up messes and all that stuff, and it's a lot more fun than it sounds, because it's Japanese, so all those games sound awful. I mean, Katamari Damacy, you roll around rolling up shit.
Pick up stuff.
Yeah, so it's the same principle, where it's much more fun when you play it. This version, you walk around a museum hunting, like, photos, and helping out, like, superheroes, and talking sponge bears, like, helping everyone with their tasks. You get to shoot wasabi into the sushis, you get to meet mysterious enemies. You do get to clean still. They haven't abandoned that functionality entirely. So, it's definitely a weird, quirky Japanese game. Nintendo does those really well, though, so I am very, very excited for this game. It's going to be on the 3DS, which is perfect, because this is the kind of game that it's like, fuck, I have like a half-hour driving to work with Kyle, like, what am I going to play? Chibi Robo.
Pokemon Bank, Kyle.
Yeah, so everyone get hyped for Pokemon Bank.
Okay. I'm hyped for Pokemon Bank.
It's software that lets you store up to 3,000 Pokemon that you have caught. It is a paid service, but they are offering a free trial version. They didn't really say the price of the Pokemon.
It's a monthly thing.
It's like $5.
It's online, yeah.
It's
pretty cheap.
It's cheap, yeah.
It's online, and it just allows you to like get Pokemon from like black and like.
I think it's black, white, and then X and Y.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you take Pokemon from black and white. You could bring them into X and Y.
Yeah.
And then in black and white, you can like get Pokemon from like all the old games like Ruby and stuff. So that's how you're going to be getting your level 100 Pikachu's in and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Why hasn't Nintendo capitalized on the idea of just flat out buying Pokemon from the old games? Like, instead of like...
Oh, God. No, Kyle. Don't give them that idea.
Because, I mean, I will say this much. When it comes down to it, Nintendo does care about the consumers that buy into their, like, BS. And so, I don't see them ever doing that.
Nintendo cares about taking their money, but they don't want to be flat out mean about it.
Yeah.
It's like, look, this is our jam. We do the same game every 20 years, and we just cycle through them. And it's like, if you get behind that, awesome. We're happy to have you aboard. We're not going to, like, dick you around anymore after that.
That's this week. That's December 27th. Should I put that in the releases of the week?
No, you should.
I mean, it's not a game. So.
No, it's just a bank.
So the next thing is Bravely Default, which the three of us know nothing about.
It's an RPG.
It's an RPG. There's something about sleep points. So 1 sleep point is generated for every 8 non-consecutive hours that your 3DS is closed. Maximum of 3 sleep points at a time. You can use them to give yourself gear, like a revive potion, a heal, or a super mega skills.
That's what Reggie said.
He said super mega skills?
Yeah.
Okay. Street Pass lets you build sleep points. Lets you buildings? What? Street Pass
Build.
Okay, so
Kyle just can't type.
Okay. Yeah. And gather warriors to help you in battle. You can use the sleep points that you can buy from the Nintendo. Wait, you can buy them from the Nintendo.
You can buy potions that give you sleep points.
So on the Nintendo store, you can buy potions that give you 1 potion is 3 sleep points.
I don't know if I like that.
And
I mean, they literally
after
generate.
CJ just said that Nintendo doesn't want to nickel and dime you to death. Now they're selling sleepy potions.
They literally generate when you do nothing with your game.
You have 8 non-consecutive hours.
If you're stuck in a dungeon and you need 3 sleep points, you're waiting.
Dude, all sleep points do is give yourself gear, Phoenix Downs, and heals. Just buy those at the shop.
What if you're out of Phoenix Downs and you're stuck in a dungeon
and
the next one you're
the mega skill? The skill is
close
something,
the DS.
The skill is something you can only do with the sleep points. Like, it's a skill you don't normally have that goes over the damage cap.
Yeah, okay, so that sounds like cheating.
Well, yeah, so you buy...
I hate microtransactions, I'll just say it.
I
literally hate them.
I think
they're the death of gaming.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I think that sleep points in general is a bad plan. I think that the sleep points thing is basically begging to have microtransactions tacked onto it, so not a fan of it. Not saying that these sleep points are okay in terms of selling them on store. I will say that, like, you can literally generate them by doing nothing with your DS, though, so just
and street passing too.
And street passing, yeah. So I mean, maybe this will encourage people to not spend 12 hours grinding in an RPG because they'll get to a part where they can't advance and they'll have to put down the DS and walk away.
Well, they don't have to grind.
No, then they'll just microtransaction.
Right.
That's gonna
if they want.
So it's out on the 3DS February 7th of 2014. A demo is coming out in January.
January 2nd.
January 2nd, okay. And this is kind of cool. The demo is a free side story not included in the actual game. So
See, I don't
that's
like
pretty
that.
cool.
See, I like that, especially for an RPG where, like... So the main thing that's going to sell me on buying an RPG that I've never played before is the gameplay mechanics, because I don't know the story going into it. So if I can get a demo that shows me like how the game is played, because that's what you're going to be doing 90% of your time in the game, is just the grinding aspect of it, then I'm fine with playing a side story that teaches you about the characters that you're going to be playing all this time with, but it's not like a chunk of... They don't just take a chunk of the game and be like, okay, you're going to have to play this twice.
Yeah.
What I don't like is the idea of getting that demo, playing it, being like, well, I don't really like this story, but I also don't know if this story has anything to do with, like, the main
It has
game.
something to do with the main game, but it's just...
beyond something to do. Like, I don't like the idea of playing it, being like, this story sucked, and having to be like, yeah, but that's not even the story I'm going to be playing. Like, it's just irrelevant to...
Right. But it hasn't been done, really, so we won't know,
Dead Rising 2 did it.
There you go. Dead Rising 2 did it.
Well, no, they actually charged for that, I think. It was like a mini...
They did charge for that. Yep. That was a release.
That was a game. It was $5. Yeah. That was a full game. It wasn't a demo.
That wasn't a demo.
I mean, I don't know if that was a full game.
It was for $5, it was a full game. It was a full $5 game.
So that's...
Wait, did it have multiplayer?
That's what it was. It wasn't a demo. It was a prequel.
Okay. But it didn't have multiplayer, so it was only 50% of the game.
Well, find me a $5 game that has multiplayer and single player.
Oh, I can totally find you that.
All right.
I mean, I'm not going to do it right now. We're in the middle of recording a show. I'll send it to you on Steam.
Excuses.
Okay. Wii Sports Club, Kyle.
Wii Sports Club. Who could not be more excited for Wii Sports Club than this man? They announced a new sport.
Yes.
Golf.
Yes.
How is that a new sport?
Woo!
Well, it's a brand new Wii Sports Club sport.
Yeah, it wasn't on Wii Sports Club.
So it's more realistic feel than the original Wii Sports Golf. Which, that...
Do you actually have to swing your club now instead of just going...
He said...
Viewers couldn't see
when
that.
When they said, we have the new sport, golf, and then he was like, and it's more realistic than the original, I was like, well, that's not really a new sport.
No, that's not at all.
So it's 9 holes from the Wii Sports version of golf.
Okay, so they just reused the 9 holes.
Yep. And then it's 9 holes from the original NES golf game.
Okay.
Released 25 years ago on the Famicom.
Right, yeah, and they're going to look exactly like they did 25 years ago. They're going to have no new development stuff put into it.
No, they have new textures.
Oh, okay.
Nintendo reusing content.
It's Nintendo redoing
The whole Nintendo
content.
Direct was, look at all the stuff we used to make. Buy it again.
No. I've never heard of anyone being mad about, like, old games having stuff. Like, no one was playing Dead Rising and be like, this is bullshit that they have Mega Man stuff in here, like, where I could dress up as Mega Man and shoot a Buster gun.
Totally
That's a little different.
I mean, is it?
It is out right now for a 24-hour free trial. If you've done any other Wii Sports free trials, you can still get this free trial. Each sport has its own free trial. So
Well, because each sport's its own game.
Yeah.
In the Wii Sports Club. The other thing that I announced, speaking of old content having homage paid to it in appropriate ways, NES Remix for the Nintendo Wii U. New title, $15. It's 16 NES games. I don't remember them all off the top of my head. It's like Excitebike, Mario, Link, Donkey Kong. Not like Legend of Zelda, Donkey Kong, Balloon Fighter, Clu Clu Land, Ice Climbers,
Pinball.
Golf, Pinball. Yeah, I actually read the article. What it does is it like chops and screws them up, puts Link into Donkey Kong, which is hilarious because Link can't jump. Puts like makes you do Excitebike with like just a headlight and you can't see the rest of the place. It's essentially like WarioWare style micro games where it gives you a challenge, you have to do the challenge. Sometimes you get a time limit, sometimes you just have to do it as quick as you can. There's over 200 games, like challenges in it. That's a lot of content. I know some people might be down on it because it's like, oh well, like this is all games that we've already like played, but I mean
You're super defensive of this title.
Yeah, why are you so defensive? Why are you so defensive?
I don't like the idea that Kyle's like, oh, they're just like hacking ROMs. It's like, no, they actually developed the game.
I don't agree with that. It's just hacking ROMs.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. But I'm also kind of on this is just like typical Nintendo.
I mean,
like, take our old stuff, like
my
do
thing
something
is like,
weird with it, and be like, look at this new thing.
That's like
they hit the mirror button on the Mario stage, and they're like, it's new.
Again, not what they did at all. I think what it is I'm mostly tired of hearing this. No, hearing the same because it's not just you guys hearing the same complaints about Nintendo over and over. It's like owning a pet snake that bites you, and every time it bites you, you're like, it bit me! It's like, at some point, you have to be like, okay, I understand how this works, and, like, I need to not be surprised.
I can't be...
I just want Nintendo to try, I feel.
I don't think they don't try. What I wish is that they'd make things that are more... That appeal more to, like, gamers like me, where I'm really into, like, you know...
You mean gamers who have never played Legend of Zelda or Mario?
Yes, exactly. I'm really into, like, new IPs, like, unique things. Like, I've played Mario. I don't need to play Mario 20 more times. Like, give me something new. Like, I don't know. Like, what they do, obviously what they do it really good. They do it really well, but it's just not for me.
New Super Mario Brothers was a step back, but if you take New Super Mario Brothers, so the other way, disregard that. Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario 3D Land.
You can throw Sunshine away, too.
No, Sunshine was all new stuff, Kyle.
But see, it
was a new mechanic, it was a new way to play a game. Galaxy was like new mechanics, a new way to play the game. They keep innovating on their stuff.
Platforms, it's just platforming.
I mean, that's what a platforming game is.
Does is platforming games, it feels like.
I think The Legend of Zelda would definitely disagree with that. Link can't even jump.
What a bitch.
I know. I can jump.
I can jump.
I just think for $15, this is like an awesome game for people that are into nostalgia and like playing these like old games. I think it's a solid like price for over 200 like micro games. That's a WarioWare game.
Yep. When it comes out, we'll do a Let's Play.
It's out, isn't it?
I don't know.
It's out now.
We'll buy it.
Yeah, it is out.
We'll do a Let's Play and we'll make fun of it, and you'll show us how wrong we are.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Okay.
I'll play the whole game.
Defend your title.
I mean, I don't want to be awful and have everyone see. I don't want to like fail at Clu Clu Land 20 times. Everyone would be like, this guy can't play Clu Clu Land, even though no one can play Clu Clu Land. That game sucks.
We'll cut that out.
All right.
Okay.
I hate Balloon Fighters.
We're knocking on you for Nintendo like rehashing old ideas and we think they're just a cash cow.
Yeah.
But Brandon's got a really important announcement for the next title.
The
next new IP from Nintendo.
Dr. Luigi.
Woo!
Finishing up the year of Luigi, we've got Dr. Luigi, which is out on Wii U on December 31st, cutting it right at the end there. It's got a new mode that gives you L-shaped capsules.
Innovation.
Innovation at its finest. It's hard to get a game over for players who can't handle puzzle games. What?
Oh, it's hard to get a game over.
It's super hard to lose.
So it's super easy. And there's
no, it's not super easy. It's just hard to lose.
There's online play. So it's basically Dr. Mario with
Did they announce a price?
They didn't.
I don't know.
They didn't announce a price.
Okay. I mean, after New Super Mario Bros. U Luigi, or whatever that one was called, I don't understand why anyone would be surprised about this.
They made such a big deal about the L-shaped capsule that
they were excited about it, Kyle. There was no L-shaped capsule in Dr. Mario. Medical technology needs to advance.
Dude, I don't want to swallow. Imagine trying to swallow an L-shaped capsule.
You just gulp it.
That'd be really weird.
You just gulp it.
I don't know about that.
It's like swallowing a whole piece of steak tip.
Oh.
So that pretty much wraps up the news of the week. We've got a secret review, right?
The secret review.
Secret review.
I like that we keep saying secret review, even though we all know what it is.
We're never gonna say the name of the game here. We're just gonna.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
No, that's a terrible idea.
Well, we can say it at the end.
No, I'll say it now.
See if they can guess what it is while we review it.
I don't like that idea.
So as we've covered before, I am now the proud owner of the X-Bone.
Yep.
With the Connect Red Eye of Sauron, that
Xbox
is really
wins.
creepy. Every time, I'm just looking at it, I just want to turn it away.
Stop watching me.
Don't look at me. So with the Xbox, I got Peggle 2.
Yep.
And going into buying the Xbox, this didn't even cross my mind. It's like, oh, I can play Peggle 2 now. Like, I got home and I'm looking through the store and I saw it and I was like, this purchase was just justified for a Plinko game, essentially.
I love Peggle so much.
Oh, I burned through every level last night. Besides the trials,
200 levels.
Besides the trials, I did the story mode.
Okay.
I finished the complete story mode last night because I just couldn't put it down. Like it's Peggle. So yeah, we'll just jump right in. Story. Each character, like the way that's set up now is like first you play as Bjorn, like the unicorn, and you do his like 10 stages, and you deal with like his powers and learn about all the little different things in it. Then he is like, oh well, I'm out. Like here's our new champion. And he introduces, like, a new guy that stands next to your grid and, like, fist bumps, like, the side of it when you do good. Or there's, like, little animations that all go on when they get happy or we get
Is it the
sad.
gopher? The skateboard gopher?
No.
Oh.
There is a skateboard gopher in the background of one of the levels.
Well, you said fist bumps, and I assumed it was that guy. That's disappointing. He was definitely my favorite.
So each one has this little mini story, and, like, there's really nothing there. But it's kind of cutesy, and it just keeps the game flowing at a pace.
RPG lovers, stay away.
Yeah. If you want a story, don't buy this. So I'm going to give story a 7. Like, there is a story there, and it doesn't get in the way, but it's not something you're going to be like, oh man, the story, like, I just couldn't put it down.
I had to finish the story.
So, story 7. Gameplay. It's Peggle. It's the same gameplay from all the Peggles, but there's a bunch of new powers. Like the big giant troll that lives under the bridge that has billy goats living in his gruff. He has a boulder that he shoots, and like it's affected by the balls, but not really. Like it just barrels through anything that's in its way.
Nice.
And you get one of those per like green thing that you hit.
Yeah.
There's this little gnome that everyone was picking on him, so he built this giant gnome mech. But it's really not giant. It's giant to him, but it's still like
really small,
like a toddler-sized mech. And his power is every time you hit a ball, the 2 balls in its vicinity will automatically be plinked.
The pegs.
Yeah, the pegs.
Yeah, the pegs. That power
They'll
is if you hit it in just the right spots, that power is super overpowered. You get so many points with that. Yeah,
nobody cares about
but there's no balance question.
I demand it be overpowered.
You demand a balance patch?
No. I demand everything be overpowered.
There's a like scary like little goth chick.
Night.
And she has nightmare mode where if you hit the thing, like she reverses herself. And she's a skeleton and like all gloomy looking, and all the blue pegs are gone, and it's just the orange ones. They're like ghost pegs, so like you can hit the orange pegs normally, but all the blue ones it just goes through.
Interesting.
I am terrified of her skeleton outsides.
You rack up crazy points because it lasts for 2 turns, and every time you hit a blue peg, like you could hit an orange peg, it bounces, clears a ton of blue pegs. They all come back for your next turn, so you can just keep racking up crazy score.
Yeah, nice.
And then when she comes back to her normal, like non-dead skeleton form, all the blue pegs you cleared are obviously gone.
Yeah,
I can't wait for X-Bone to be in the living room so I can play Peggle 2.
I can't wait for Peggle 2 to be out on something besides the X-Bone.
There's a big Yeti who, like, he just like shakes his ass, like when
shake.
And when I say shakes his ass, the ass is censored. There's like it's mosaic around it because he's just wiggling it in the screen.
Nice.
And his special power is he like blows like frozen ice all over the thing. So when you hit pegs, they move and they can bounce into other pegs.
Oh, weird!
Start this like crazy chain reaction of pegs touching.
You can't let pegs touch.
Yeah, the new powers are great. I give gameplay a 9.
Nice.
Sound, each character's stages have different sounds, like the robot I was talking about. All his are like 8-bit little like bips and bloops.
That's pretty cool.
The goth chick is like, it's kind of like organy.
Yeah. Medcore.
everything's like really Nightcore. Everything's really like it fits that character that you're playing.
Yeah.
And all their victory songs, every character has a different victory song, so it's not.
So it's no longer just a da 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 da.
Yeah.
Or is that a power song or is that a victory song?
That's a victory song.
Okay.
Every character has a different victory song. And
see, I kind of liked.
Yeah.
Like ba 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 ba.
Believe me, you'll like every character's victory song.
Okay.
You're not going to be like, oh, this one's a bummer.
That's good.
Sound gets an 8. Graphics are the weakest category because it's Plinko, it's Peggle.
What graphics?
It's nice to look at, but it's not like they're not.
These pegs
you
are
wouldn't
high
tell,
definition.
You can reproduce it in paint.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's low tier. Graphics are a 7.
That orange peg looks a little mauve for me.
Fun is easily. I'm just gonna say the score. Fun is a 10. Just keep playing the game. Like, you don't stop. I was up till almost 2 o'clock just playing Peggle. They added all the trials where you have moving pegs that are going super fast back and forth, and you have 5 shots to clear them. They have ones where you have to get, 6 wall bounces to clear the pegs. Mm-hmm. Just so many trials. All the level requirements, you'll go into a level and be like, beat this level with an ace, at least 4 balls left, and you can't use any special powers. So you have to stay away from the green pegs, which you really don't have really any control once you've let your ball go and it's just bouncing around. You can somewhat plan, but it might go rogue and just
you get one bad peg and
and you can't turn the power off. Like, even if you get the green peg, you can't be like, oh well, I'm not going to use you, so go away. So some of the trials are really hard, some are really nice. The game is just nothing but fun. Playing, me and my girlfriend played all night, and just going back and forth, the smack talk and just trash.
The game's
90% luck. You can do some really sick bank shots that you can plan out, but most of the time it's just whoo, wow, that happened.
My favorite is on the moving ones where they cross over. I don't know if this version has any, but in the original Peggle, there was pegs that would cross over with each other, and if you got your ball at the bottom of where they crossed, it would raise your ball the whole way up, and it would hit every peg because it was I
don't remember that.
It would be
I didn't play the original that much though.
It would be 2 lines of pegs going through each other.
Yeah.
So you would hit it at the bottom, and then it would be and the part where it crossed is always going up. Mm-hmm. So it's just and you just get all the points, all the pegs. Oh, it's the best.
What was I gonna say?
For an $11.99?
Yeah, game's $11.99. Yeah. I definitely got $12 worth of enjoyment out of this title so far.
Nice.
And I haven't even cracked, the surface of, 100%ing all the levels.
Yeah.
Overall, game gets an 8.2. If you have an Xbox One, just buy it. There's really no reason you shouldn't own this title right now.
Nice.
Alright, guys. I think that as we draw both the show and the year to a close, it's important that we pay homage, pay recognition to the best parts of gaming this year. Well, that sounds like shit, so I'm not going to use it. It was supposed to be Auld Lang Syne.
Stop playing music for the show.
Hey, I am 1 for 2 right now. That's 50%. But, yeah, so why don't we just go around and cover some of the things that we thought were best this year. I think first is most obvious, most impressive game, best game of the year.
Who want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. So for my most impressive game of the year, I actually went with Saints Row 4. Saints Row 4 kind of going into it, I was like, this is going to be weird. Superpowers and aliens. I could not put that game down. The superpowers were just so much fun. The gameplay was just over the top. The story, while being cheap and cheesy, was just hilarious. You could have romances with your
yeah.
And it was literally just walk up to them and be like, "Want to fuck?" And they'd be like, "Sure." And that's the romance. And it was just every time I did it to a new character. It doesn't matter what gender you are, you can romance everybody, and everybody is the girls. If you're a girl character, the girls yeah, let's do it. The guys yeah, let's do it. Everybody's just there's a robot you can do it with too.
Awesome. I have to go back. I have this game. It's just sitting there. I gotta go back and play
this. It was just so much fun. It was hilarious. There was a ton of good games that came out this year, but I think the one that I really just could not put down until I finished was Saints Row 4.
Nice.
CJ?
I think most impressive game, I would... It's between two for me, but I think I'm going to give it to Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yep.
Just the scope of the game is huge. They pulled off the story, perfectly, despite the fact that it didn't really... When it was announced and stuff, I was kind of doubting it. I was like, 3 characters? That seems weird, this and that. Mm-hmm. But the way the story goes is really perfect. You end up really, caring about them, even though they're all assholes. They're all just awful people. But the mechanics of the way you switch between the characters are awesome. There's so much stuff to do that isn't story. It's side quests and side missions. There's a ton of secrets and stuff to find. They clearly paid attention to... I mean, you can take a submarine out. You can go scuba diving. You can ride a bike around. There's... anything you can think of doing in real life is represented in this game. And like we said earlier, it's a $250 million game to develop and stuff, but you see every dollar that was put into the game in some form. I think it... I know that they're going to get a ton of Game of the Year awards and everything, but I don't think you're ever going to get enough praise because of the amount of work that went into this game. So, Kyle?
I'm glad I have 2 most impressive games because you covered one of them.
I figured, yeah.
I think I know what your other one's going to be.
Not even I wouldn't even say GTA is the best game, but easily most impressive.
Yeah.
For just the load times alone, everything's just up. You're there.
Yep.
It takes a while to load into the game, but once you're in it, you're never gonna load.
It's because it loads California.
It's you said,
working with the previous gen hardware was definitely they did a very good job.
Yeah, it really shows too. I love the argument, I love the PC race argument. But there's nothing on PC that even comes close to GTA 5, in my opinion. I mean, you could say Star Citizen, but that's still debatable if they're going to pull it off.
Yeah.
Right.
With that hardware that's 8 years old, and they pulled off, the best game, I'd say, of the decade almost.
It's probably the best PS4 game for the next, year or so. It's not even on PS4.
Yeah. It's just insane that they can do that with, 8-year-old, 10-year-old hardware. Definitely. It just shows that, when you have a dedicated system, you can really push it. Because you know exactly what it can and can't handle. Mm-hmm. And you can find, shortcuts into being okay, well, we want to do this. Let's loophole a way into doing it.
Yeah.
I love that about it. The other one is easily Last of Us.
Yeah.
I went into Last of Us pretty, after the first showing at E3, I was just I love Naughty Dog, but, really another post-apocalyptic game. This is starting to become, flavor of the decade. I just want something new. A week before the game came out, I still wasn't even sure if I was going to buy it. Then it was just hit with, 10 after 10 after 10 in reviews, so I was I'm going to at least have to try it. So I got it and couldn't put the story down. The second I started the single-player campaign, and I started multiplayer first because I wanted to see, I'll get this out of the way. I put a good 9 hours into the multiplayer the first day I got it because they made a solid multiplayer, which that doesn't happen either on a game that's solely this is a story. It's
supposed to be a story.
Yeah, a single-player game with a multiplayer added onto it. Usually that multiplayer is unplayable, just mess.
Yep.
Multiplayer was amazing. The way that they had your Facebook filtered into it, so randomly I'd go back to my camp and it would be CJ found a soccer ball. Amanda's getting sick. It's just random people on your Facebook are in your camp and you have to protect them by getting food in multiplayer matches. So that's really cool. The story was amazing. Couldn't put it down. I started it and just played it till completion. That's definitely the most impressive game for me for the year.
Nice. I would like to give an honorable mention to Forza 5. I've only watched it. Obviously I don't have an Xbox One. I know Kyle's played a little bit of it. It's really just, it's there's not enough time in the year to fully test it out, give it this award or anything, but the graphics are crazy through the roof. The Drivatar system they have is super ambitious. The only downside of the game is basically the microtransactions. So it's, would never give it most impressive game for this year, but I think it deserves recognition for how nice it looks, how well it takes advantage of the Xbox One. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So the next we're gonna hit on is sleeper hits. So my sleeper hit for the year is Gunpoint, which was a 2D side scroller, kind of like a stealth action game, where you had you could use your abilities to change circuits and open doors, and it was just
that sounds pretty cool.
Really cool. It was only a 3 or 4 hour game, but I felt like it came out people were like, yeah, this is cool, and then nothing about the game was talked about since then.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun with it.
I've played a lot of Flash games, super similar to Gunpoint, but just Gunpoint's art style and delivery, it was really good.
Yeah.
I forgot about that game.
Yeah, it was definitely.
It had didn't it have side missions too? There were some points I feel like they asked me do you want to do this or do you want to do this?
You were talking
not side missions, but a branching tree.
Yes,
almost.
exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really cool. I really liked it.
I think my sleeper hit for the year, I'm going to give I said it way back in, I think, episode 1, but Mario and Luigi Dream Team. It's a Mario and Luigi RPG game, if you've played the ones that have happened.
They put those two characters together finally?
I know, right? It's about time. It's, I think, either the third or the fourth Mario RPG game. If you've played them before, you know the formula where it's, they both attack. You control Mario with A, Luigi with B. They didn't change much in terms of mechanics or anything, but it's a super solid RPG. I played a 40-hour RPG on my 3DS. That's $1 an hour is what I paid for this game.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable to me. The graphics are really, really nice for the 3DS. They don't force the 3D on you or anything. It's kind of like the Pokemon style where it's 3/4 down. But it looks really nice. It's not the 2D style they had in the GBA ones or the Nintendo regular DS ones. And it's just the story's really cool. The gameplay's a lot of fun. There's a lot of secret hidden stuff to do. I would definitely say more people should check it out. Kyle?
I'm gonna give my sleeper hit to Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I don't. It's not much of a sleeper hit because it's that's a.
Well, I mean, it's an offshoot of Metal Gear. So
yeah, I feel not enough people really got a grasp of it. They saw oh, it's a hack and slash game. This isn't Metal Gear. Get this, throw this away.
Yeah.
Again, I went into it. I bought it blindly just because it's Metal Gear and that's my favorite franchise.
You didn't buy it blindly, didn't you? Buy the super collector's edition with the lamp. And shit?
I'm saying blindly as I didn't have to see any footage or anything of it. I just knew yep, it's got Metal Gear in the title. I'm gonna buy this game because I love that franchise. And it's canon. The story partakes to the Metal Gear universe, but it's so different from any Metal Gear game that it just felt fresh. It was just really nice to kind of get out of Snake's world and into what Raiden's doing. Mm-hmm. Super cheesy, super over the top. Some of the best boss fights, some of the best music. Just I can't say enough good things about that game.
It's not on here, but I think it deserves something to talk about. Biggest disappointment of the year.
Yeah,
in terms of games.
I don't have one of those prepared.
I mean, I don't have any of these prepared.
God damn it.
You must have. I mean, you can go last if you want on this one.
I have to think.
What game were you least satisfied with?
I don't
remember.
What game
did you play?
I probably played it for 2 hours and then totally forgot about it. SimCity. Oh, okay. SimCity. There you go. Done. Mine's SimCity. Moving on.
I think my biggest disappointment of the year, I had it and then I have to think about it a second because I had to think of SimCity.
I mean, you can say we can all just
No. I mean, SimCity's definitely on the list. There was definitely a game that I picked out that I played, and I was like, man, this sucks the most. So I can't believe I brought it. Yeah. Oh, forget it. Just forget it.
You just ruined the whole thing.
I know. I didn't know.
Start over.
I thought because I had one picked out.
Just hit stop on the record. We'll think and then hit it again.
So, biggest news of the year, in your opinion, Brandon?
I definitely have to go with PS4 announcements. Just everything Sony did leading up to the release of the PS4 was just boom, 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 just nailed on the head. Every time Microsoft screwed up and people were pissed off, Sony came out and was like, look at us, we're awesome. It was just a rapid fire.
That campaign was impressive.
Sony just nailed it all the way through. And I have to say, props to them. They took, it sucks for Microsoft, but they took Microsoft's, blunders and were like, hey, we're not doing this shit.
Dude, the commercial was like, this is how you share games with friends.
Yep. Hilarious.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely mine has to go to basically the PS4 announcement, PS4 at E3, just any of those big PS4 conferences where they, just came out and just nailed it every time.
Mine is, I'll give two because one of them, the one I was going to say is kind of goes with Brandon's. Mine would be like, biggest news, Xbox, their initial announcement when they were like, you can't share games, you gotta be online. We're making the worst system ever. Like that was
huge.
That was huge. Yeah, and people were pissed, and I mean it shows because Microsoft didn't go with any of it, and so that was what I was gonna say. But Brandon kind of covered that. So I would say other biggest news is the delay of Ubisoft.
Watch Dogs. Yeah, pretty much all.
So, almost all of them, but definitely
Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs. Yeah.
That kind of killed a lot of hype for the next gen.
I had the PS4 pre-ordered to buy Watch Dogs.
Yep, that was going to be my launch title game too.
And they canceled it, and I canceled my pre-order because I was like, well, there's like nothing I want to play. Then like I'll just get it when it comes out.
Yep.
So I thought that was a huge deal that had a huge impact on sales.
Kyle, what's your biggest news?
I'm going to go with we didn't talk about it on the show because there's just way too much to talk about above it. There's too many conflicting stories. Nothing's really like solidified yet. But I think so far the biggest news, gaming, besides what you guys have said, has been this new like YouTube debacle.
That's been causing a huge stir.
To me, I see it as this. If you're doing this for the sole reason of like, oh, I'm only playing these games because I want to get paid for it and post them on YouTube and have 5,000 plus videos of like, let's play Minecraft episode 615, then get out. It's mean to say, but
people are doing this as their job. Like, there are people there that put 40, 50, 60 hours a week into making YouTube, into making high quality content. And that's their paycheck. That's how they pay their mortgage. That's how they buy their food.
But those people, I feel, they have enough, I'd say, not resources, but I think they have enough on the line where they're going to, like...
Those aren't the people making Let's Play Minecraft 512.
Those people are going to be... These are, like, the ones you're talking about. They're the smart ones who are like, okay, well, like... It's not... They're not, like, taking down videos. They're stopping the monetization until
giving it to the person who made the claim.
Until it's disputed.
Until it's disputed. Even, like, if your video gets flagged, from what I understand, if you're flagged, monetization stops.
Yes.
Let's say you get 20,000 views of that video between monetization stops and monetization turned back on. You're retro paid.
Yeah, you're reimbursed for all the views.
Yeah, for those views.
The problem is, though, is that if you dispute a claim... and it comes back as, like, no, this is a valid, like, the problem is troll companies that make the dispute, and then you dispute it, and what if the system fails you? What if it comes back and your account gets that red flag? 2 more red flags, your account's done. You're shut down, you can't post videos, you can't do anything on that account. That is huge.
If you get flagged for, like, by a third-party company that has nothing to do with like what's going on in the video, and they uphold that, I have no doubt that that's something that you can take higher up because that's someone not doing their job.
I don't know if you can. Like somebody like Total Biscuit probably could. That he is huge in YouTube.
Right.
But like, say if we were on YouTube and that happened to us, if we were monetizing our videos, I doubt we could do anything about it. And that's the scary part.
I think there are proper channels to... I think, first of all, that there are enough people that, like, are doing their jobs where it's like, if you get a claim from, like, Butt Lover Music on your game clip, it's like, okay, not music, like, involved in this whatsoever. Clearly this game
is... like, what was it? Somebody got... There was things where, like, somebody got there was boss battle music in a video.
Yeah.
They were, talking over, and they were like, they got a claim on it. People who... like game developers, like indie game developers, have gotten their games flagged for music. Like, I guess that's the big thing. A lot of it right now is like music and like, you know, like a trailer or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I know a lot of these game companies and stuff already have letters out that are like, you just take the letter and you send it to YouTube with your like complaint, and it's like done.
And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these people who are like being like, oh well, I disputed it and then I got something back, and it was like, well, your dispute was false, so now you have a flag. What, like, did they actually dispute it, or did they just immediately click like dispute and be like, I can post this like fair trade? Like, they didn't have any information.
I don't know if anybody's done that yet, but like, it's just that the fact that it could come back and flag your account is what I think Google needs to do a major review of this system, and I know why Google's doing this, because they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to have to deal with, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense on their end.
Yeah, they don't.
I mean, I think
they're putting it all on.
I think outside of these like random cases with the music, I think it's working correctly. It's flagging videos as like if you have an Assassin's Creed trailer in your video, it's flagging that as like, oh, that's Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft, and it's like, okay, you didn't really take the context of the video, and it's like, yeah, well, it's an automated system. It doesn't watch the video and go, oh, this is like a review, blah, blah, blah. It just does what it's supposed to do, and then you dispute it, and it's fixed. I think that the biggest problem it's facing are these like random like mishmash companies of music things that are getting monetization, but I also don't think that it won't be fixed. I don't think Google has ever shown like a disloyalty to customers in this, or like consumers rather, because you're not paying for it, but in the sense that like they are looking to not help you. Google's really good with like all that stuff.
Like, I have a bunch of the comments like saved, but what really irked me were the people like Johnny Blaze 69 Gamer being like, well, if I can't monetize my videos, there's no reason for me to play the game.
Yeah,
like,
I agree that people
don't do
like
it.
that
are
stupid. Yeah, like
we don't clog YouTube with your shaky cam of you playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
Like,
I think this should be your passion, and you're going to do your passion no matter what, or no matter how hard it is. And maybe it will help weed out some of the shit content that we have. But
I think it's definitely frustrating from a content creator perspective, but I also think that there are enough channels to go through to get it fixed that you don't hear about good things. People only complain. They don't go and say, oh, I had the easiest time getting this fixed. Yeah. They get it fixed, and then they go right back to doing what they were doing because it's fixed now.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that there's not a lot of, like, that the story died out quickly, I think speaks to the fact that it was being fixed, almost. Because this is one of those things that
I'm still very skeptical.
If it was still this huge deal, we would be hearing about it still from all these content creators. Angry Joe would still be like, I can't believe I'm not getting paid for my video. Rant.
I mean, he'd still be angry.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so that's biggest news.
I thought of my disappointment.
Oh, what's your disappointment? Real quick.
It was Assassin's Creed 3, because I was so hyped for that game.
Wait, well, didn't that come out 2012?
That came out this year. Did it come out 2012?
Yeah, it was 2012.
Yeah.
Was it? Oh, okay, well.
Black Flag was this year.
I didn't play Black Flag yet. I didn't play Black Flag yet.
It's fine. It's fine. Okay.
I got Assassin's Creed 3. I played it for 2 hours, and I was like, nothing's new.
So hopefully Kyle told you about this, but I also tacked on a most anticipated game of 2014.
He did not tell me about it.
Piece of crap.
At all.
Yeah, I thought 2014...
You'll go
I'll
last.
go last. Give me a second to look at stuff. And you guys go.
So, this was really hard for me to pick, but I went with my most anticipated game.
Hold on, sorry, I don't want to interrupt. Kyle told me about... I know, I don't want to, but I have to. Kyle told me about this change in format on the ride over.
Oh, okay.
He was like, "Oh, he was like, your top list. Do you have that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "That didn't sound confident." I was like, "No, I have like 5 predictions." He was like, "Well, we're not doing that." So that's why I have nothing.
Early FrameLoss is hard.
So my most anticipated game for 2014, I am saying Dragon Age Inquisition. That was really hard for me to pick because there's a lot of good games coming out like Destiny and Infamous Second Son that I'm super excited for.
2014 is going to be a good year.
It is going to be a great year, but from what I've seen of Dragon Age, and the only thing I've seen of Dragon Age is shaky cam footage of them during like a conference or something, just looked really awesome. I'm really into story-driven like action RPGs and just RPGs in general. And from going from Dragon Age 2 to what they showed, just I was like, I want this game. I want this game now. I want to play this game. That is my most anticipated game of 2014.
I have 3.
You have 3? I figured you would.
3?
Pick one.
I couldn't pick one.
Final Fantasy X HD remake.
I'm so hyped for Titus and Waka and
get out of here.
Seymour.
What's your 3?
Seymour's the most threatening boss of all time.
Come on.
Okay. Well. Okay, I have 1 and 2 honorable mentions.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
So still 3.
Still 3. Honorable mentions we'll get out of the way first. Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid: The Phantom Pain.
Yep.
Again, like, it's Metal Gear. I'm so pumped to see the new engine, to see the story, where they're going to take it next. As silly and sometimes laughable as the story can be, I still think it's one of the best stories in gaming. Like, just everything falls into place where it's supposed to. There's no real, like, major plot holes. There are some, but, like, you gotta dig to find them. I can't wait for those games. Seeing him on that horse, like, sneaking by, like, on the side of
that horse, man, that's so
dude, that horse?
Yeah.
That drove the game home.
I don't like that David Hayter's not the voice of Snake, but hopefully they explain why Snake's voice now is different.
Maybe he just has a cold.
Maybe. Well, I mean, he is sick because he has that.
Yeah.
I hope they don't address it at all because that's the dumbest. Like, the voice changed. Let it go. Like,
yeah.
No. I want to know why.
Oh, it looks like all those smoking has really done a number on your voice. No, fuck you.
So there's that. Infamous, definitely an honorable mention. When people say, like, well, we've reached the pinnacle of, like, what graphics can do, then I see something like Infamous, and I'm just like, that
looks gorgeous.
Nothing looks like
that's
that.
Real
like,
life.
That's it's a real person with magical powers. That like
that's super realistic.
Infamous looks so impressive to me. I can't be more excited for that game. I feel like that's going to be PS4 sales are going to go even more through the roof than they are now. That is a system seller.
Yep.
But my number 1 most anticipated game is easily, like, not even thinking about it, The Division.
Yeah, that's definitely an honorable mention for me too. Yes.
I can't emphasize, like, as much as I love Daisy, Daisy's beautiful too, but the Snowdrop engine looks so good, and being in a rural environment, not an urban environment, the opposite of a rural environment, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
And
I guess I couldn't put that on my list because I feel like we just haven't seen enough. We've seen that little teaser of gameplay, and it does look like I really hope they really nail, like, a survival aspect. Like, you do have to find food and water. That's what I want. I want a survival game.
That's what they said they're doing.
Yeah.
I think it's super high on my anticipation because it's the first time I've looked at a Tom Clancy game and gone like, oh, that looks like something I'm going to buy.
Yeah.
Because I don't like any of his games. I've never been into. I didn't like Rainbow Six. I didn't like Ghost Recon. Yeah. I hated the new Ghost Recon. And I don't know. I feel like they can do something really good with this game. And in a sea of all these new DayZ startups, this game stands out.
Yep.
I would like to give, first off, honorable mention to MLB The Show. It's a series that is amazing every year. They keep improving it and making it more realistic.
Baseball RPG?
Yeah, it's not
Is the new one going to be on PS4? Have they said? Okay.
Yeah, it's not like my most anticipated at all, or it never will be because it's still a sports game that comes out every year.
It's a must-buy for you every year. Yeah.
It's a must-buy for anyone that likes baseball and has a PS4. Like, it's the best, most realistic baseball game ever. The only way to get more realistic is to play baseball. So, I want to recognize that as, like, the effort that goes into that every year is unbelievable. They animate they changed ball physics this year, like, based on, it's like, oh, if the ball's rotating this way in the air, it'll curve differently. Like,
that's pretty cool.
Exactly. It's just the amount of work that goes into it is crazy. But I would like to give a least recognized to Kingdom Hearts 2.5 after the hole that was 1.5, looking like it was being played on my PS1 still. But most anticipated, I think, is going to be Watch Dogs. After looking at the list and everything, I'm still super, super hyped for Watch Dogs. I love the idea behind the game. I love the way you're, like, hacking into technology and all that stuff.
It's really funny how they announced Watch Dogs and they're like, imagine if the government is spying on you all the time.
Yeah.
And then the whole, like, Edward
That's why it got
Snowden
delayed.
thing,
They were like, shit.
Yeah, they were like, oh, fuck.
Like, well,
this is happening now.
Yeah, I don't know if this is safe to release.
I was so hype on Watch Dogs, and then they showed the video of the, like, multiplayer, like, aspect.
Like how you can, like, mess with people?
How you can hack into other people's games.
Yeah.
And then, but you can also have a chance, like, if someone hacks into your game, you're kind of notified, and you have to hunt them, and then you can jump into their game and, like, still get revenge on them. That's
awesome.
That's next level Dark Souls multiplayer to me.
If they delayed it because they needed more time to work on all this stuff, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I know Ubisoft kind of has this like reputation for like they'll delay games that are going to release near each other to maximize.
Profits.
Like it was supposed to release near Assassin's Creed, and like the rumor was that they pushed it because of that. But I don't think that's true. I don't want to say
I'm all for delaying games to make it so they're done when they come out.
Yeah.
I am too.
So
take as much time as they need if it's going to be a good game.
Really excited for that. I don't know if I'm going to get... I'm probably still going to get a PS4 first, but whatever I get it on, it's going to be... Like, whatever system I get, that's going to be my first purchase. So.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, so that wraps up episode 4.
Well, we got 2014. Are you ready?
Are you ready for 2014?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready for 2014.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Bring on games.
Kyle, you only have a week to get ready. So.
Yeah, you gotta get ready, dude.
I feel like this... I know every year it's like, this is going to be the best year in gaming, but with 2 major consoles releasing at the end of a year for a new cycle, and there's no games on either of them right now, I feel we're in for a very interesting ride.
Personally, I can't wait for E3 this year. Next year. E3 next year is probably just going to be
E3
massive announcement.
Massive
announcement. Yeah, massive announcements just everywhere.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Both Sony and Microsoft are just going to be like, here are our big guns, because they want you to buy it.
And Nintendo will show Mario.
Yeah, Nintendo will be like, here's new Mario.
I hope so.
Here's my squirt guns.
Fingers crossed on that one.
So yeah, I'm ready for 2014. I'm hyped. I can't. We've all got PAX tickets.
Yep.
We should do PAX Live.
We will.
Yeah. We can't. We don't have the equipment for that.
We will.
That's in April.
We're going to monetize all our stuff.
That's in April. We got tax returns, bro.
We cutting it there?
Let's say goodbye.
Oh, okay.
For Kyle and Brandon, I'm CJ. See you guys next time. Have a good night.